So everybody, we're doing this new special series, Random Acts of Kindness. Short episodes where we're just going to talk about people who do random acts of kindness that are absolutely vital to growing this army of normal folks. And we were brought a interesting story by our friend Casey Clark about a guy named Aaron Shinen in Atlanta who happened to build a friendship with his UPS guy, I guess is the story. Aaron, tell me about that.
No, that's absolutely right. Tim has been our EPS guy for I think the 15 years that we've lived in this neighborhood in Atlanta, and I don't even really remember how it started exactly. A number of years ago, I remember it must have been cold because it was dark outside early, and he was wearing a Dallas Cowboys hat, winter hat.
You're not allowed to do that in Atlanta, are you?
Yeah, sir. Well, that's part of the problem. And so I started giving him grief. I'm like, Cowboys, man, come on, you're in Atlanta. And he said, you a Falcons fan? And yada yada yada. One thing led to another, and we just started talking about football. And so every time he would come by, we'd talk. He'd show up. He'd come by, knock on the door, looking for me just to talk about the games from the day before or something like that. And we became kind of friendly that way. And then come to find out that his kid went to the same school as my kids, and we just started. I started keeping cold Gatorades in the fridge during the summertime, and hot drinks in the wintertime if he wanted to stop by and get something. And we found out his birthday's a few days before my wife's, so we would have him over for birthday parties. And I knew a lot of people in the neighborhood liked him because he's so likable. He couldn't have just been us. Um, but then, yeah, we just kind of, swap numbers, texting, talking trash about football. He's so mad about the Cowboys keeping Dak Prescott and not making any more moves this offseason. So, yeah, he just became a good friend.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
it used to be back in the day, your postal worker
right.
walked and everybody kind of knew their postal worker. And um, unfortunately, I think we've lost some of that
I agree.
interconnectivity, but it sounds like Tim, the UPS guy, Tim Davies, was
Dave
just
Daniels.
an old school throwback,
Right.
know the people in your neighborhood kind of guy.
Yep.
Um, but I understand as you got to know him and talk to him, that you notice he walked with a little bit of a limp.
And it wasn't a little bit. I mean, the man just limps, period. And, a
How
job
does
like,
a dude that's on and off a big
I
brown
know,
truck
I
carrying
know, I know.
packages all the time do that job limping?
I
With a
don't know.
smile. With
With
a
and
smile.
a smile, and a smile, and a handshake, and a fist bump, whatever. In the summertime, you'd see him, wearing shorts, and he'd have these big braces on both of his knees, and so we would start talking about that too, and he would tell me, "Yeah, I got to get them replaced, get my knees replaced, got to get my knees replaced." I was like, "Man, you got to do that, time to do that." And yeah, 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 and he didn't do it, he didn't do it, and then finally he said, "Well, it turns out I got to get my hip fixed before I can do my knees." So he finally scheduled that surgery for this earlier this year and got the hip replaced. And so hopefully once he's healed, he can get the knees done.
So, Casey, where do you fit in all of this?
Well, I had seen Tim around my neighborhood when I'm walking my dog or when he's dropping off a package, and he is just the friendliest person. I mean, he just makes my day, and after like several interactions like that with him, he just made me proud to be a part of this community. I was like, we're so
Yeah,
lucky to have
we
him
are.
and have somebody like that who just randomly throughout your day is gonna like make you smile, make you feel better about whatever's going on in your life. And so, yeah, I opened Facebook one day and I saw a picture of Tim. I didn't even know Tim's name, but I recognized his face immediately. And I thought, is something going on with him? Is there something I can do to help him? And then I read Aaron's post and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to let Tim know that we're going to miss him so much. And so, yeah.
We talk about on an army of normal folks all the time to make your impact where you are. And you don't have to be part of some big 501c3. You don't have to be part of some massive organization to actually make a difference in the world. And it sounds like this Tim guy, just through his kindness and doing the job that he's jobbed, had an effect on the people that he served, literally packages to. but served with a smile and a simple hello. And
Yeah.
Aaron, I think I read that even when he didn't have a package, when he bit by your house, he'd honk his horn and wave at you and just say, hey.
Our kitchen faces the front the street in the front of the house, and I'm often in there cooking. And sure enough, around 6:30, you'd hear the truck coming and hear this honk, and we just turn and wave and see him, and he'd be waving back at us and driving down the way. It's became that we sort of were used to it. In fact, I texted him last week because somebody drove by with the exact same honk and honked, and it reflectively looked and waved, thinking it was him, but of course it's not. So yeah, it's the sound of the evening to us is Tim's truck and that honk.
Pretty phenomenal. So he has to get his hip fixed before he can
Right.
get his knees fixed. And clearly he's going to take some time off. And you had an idea.
Did another neighbor of ours who's friends with him also, we decided to try and raise a little bit of money to try and get him, a food delivery gift card, an Uber Eats gift card, something while he's laid up, so he didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So I put this post on our neighborhood Facebook page with his picture and explained what was going on and said, hey, I'm trying to raise a little bit of money. Here's my Venmo, and if you're able, feel free to contribute. And that was it. I did not think much more of it than that. We were thinking we could raise a couple $100 to feed him. And, I'm one of those people with my phone, I've got all the notifications turned on. My wife hates it. So my Venmo, if someone Venmos me, I get a text message and I get an email. I don't really, I need to go in to fix it, but I don't. But so my wife and I were just sitting there watching television that night after I posted it. And the Venmo thing just starts running like it's on fire. I mean, it's
Sounded
just
like a
ding.
bell going off in
Yes.
your house.
Yes, sir, like a constant. And, at some point, finally, I looked, and within an hour, we'd raised $500, which was more than I ever thought we would raise in the first place. And by the time I went to bed that night, we had raised $1,000. And, I was so incredibly touched. And then it also made me reflect a little bit. Well, of course, Tim's not just mine. Of course, Tim's not just Kim, my friend down the street. Of course, Tim impacts people the same way he impacts me because this isn't a nice neighborhood, a friendly neighborhood, and I was just overwhelmed. So I
Did you have your feelings hurt that you found out that
No.
Tim wasn't just your best friend? He seemed to be
No.
everybody's best friend.
I definitely did not. I actually felt kind of selfish and ignorant. I mean, that he was mine somehow. That guy had a claim on him. That was wrong. I did not feel embarrassed. I was like, yeah, of course, of course. Um, so I posted again that night and within like an update and said, you guys are amazing. I can't believe this. And went to bed, and by the time I woke up the next morning, it was up to $1,500, $2,000. And at that point, you're like, nobody can use that much Uber Eats in Atlanta, right? This is not just a gift card anymore. We got to figure out something else to do. So, and then by the end, Bill, it was I think he ended up transferring $5,600 to him,
Wow.
which is amazing. I mean, just absolutely amazing. I was just absolutely blown away.
But it speaks to the power of random acts of kindness and an
Yeah.
army of normal folks. And
That's
the
right.
random acts of kindness here on this story, Casey, it's both. It's Tim's random act of kindness while doing his job to everybody he comes into contact with that then inspired random acts of kindness among all the people on his route that found out he was going to be off a while and they just wanted to help. And then together, this army of normal people, through Tim's random acts of kindness and the people he inspired through that kindness to be kind back, enriched one another's lives.
Yeah, it was incredible. I like Aaron said, I wasn't surprised to see how many people had such nice things to say about Tim, how they were, inspired by him, how they had been impacted by him. But it was overwhelming the number of people. I don't know if you've counted how many people made comments on that Facebook post, but was it 100 people? Was it?
Yeah, well, I actually printed it out yesterday because
Yeah, I can't. I'm certainly don't have time to read them all,
Yeah.
but it's
Oh, you got it.
it's pictures of list after list after list from all these people in this East Lake neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, that just wouldn't shut up about Tim and continue to give little bits of money to have $55 or $600 so that when Tim was getting his surgeries, this isn't something that's raised $10 million and affecting people all over the world. But if we're going to make a difference where we are, this is Tim making a difference where he is, and all these people making a small difference where Tim is, and little itty bitty random acts of kindness. And if you look at the smile on Aaron's face and Casey's face when talking about this, you can see how restorative it is to your very souls.
Amen. It really is. It's just astonishing. When Casey said it's easy to put a comment on Facebook, I was more shocked by the number of people who were then willing to put their own dollars behind it. That was what was truly astonishing to me. I mean, some people spent $100, $150. Some people spent 10, and to provide your own hard-earned dollar in this day and age for somebody that you only sort of know, that you like and all, but don't really know their situation. It really, really affirmed my faith in humanity to a degree. And I just love it. Love the neighborhood even more for it.
Well, I think it speaks volumes about the kindness in your heart to do that for a Dallas Cowboys fan. I mean, my gosh.
If I have time to share, the Cowboys played the Falcons in Atlanta last season, and of course Tim went, and by some miracle the Falcons won. And so I was looking for him that Monday, man. I was looking for him. And I saw the truck up at the street at the neighbor's house, and I wasn't planning to get a package, so I went up there, and it was some other dude. I'm like, "Where's Tim?" He said, "Well, he didn't show up today." And I said, "Oh, come on." He said, "He's probably worried about getting ribbed over that Falcons-Cowboys game." I was like, "Dang it, I didn't get him." So anyway, you feel free to cut.
Hey, Alex, speaking of Cowboys fans, do we have anywhere around?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think we're ready for surprise number one.
Oh.
Hey, we've been talking about you, dude. It's now your time to join. You gotta turn on your camera, though.
Oh, my man.
What's up? First of all, how's that hip?
Getting better, about 62%. So it's getting there.
It's
getting there.
I can't believe you're not wearing any Cowboys
I know,
we're on this thing.
Yeah, I'm in the cowboy room,
There you are.
The Cowboy room.
Hey, Tim, I got to ask you a question. You took a job at UPS to make a living.
Yes.
But whatever it is inside of you that makes you do the job the way you do, that inspires people along your route to care enough about you and to talk about you the way they do. I'm sure you like the money, but I cannot imagine that money is anywhere close to what you feel when you hear people talk about how much they appreciate you, when you hear what you've just got through hearing, what's going through your ears.
Yeah. Well, my whole route, I love each and every one of them. And it's just like I got a friendship with everybody, and it's just different. We talk about sports, talk about life, talk about kids, and it's very emotional, to hear everything that was said, and I was overwhelmed when Aaron came to me and told me what he did, and I had to sit down for a minute. And like, oh, but I was raised to treat people in a nice, kind way and smile. I wake up with a smile on my face. I don't care what's going on in my life. I got a smile on my face, and I want my customer to know that I appreciate y'all, and they make my day. So this surgery was supposed to happen probably like 2 years ago, but I miss my I love my customers. Like, they make my day, but I knew they wanted this surgery more than I did. But I said, I know I got to get it, but I just say I got to do it because this hip went out on me, so I knew I had to do it. But it was just emotional. And like I said, trying to lead my customers. And I told my supervisor, I said, when you do find somebody to run my route, make sure they care, because all my customers, they spoil, and I love to spoil them.
Tim, we talk about on the show all the time about making a difference where you are, and you don't have to be rich, and you don't have to be part of some big organization to, as a member of the army of normal folks, just normal folks, see areas of need and employ your abilities and your passion. And your abilities and passion are simply to shed a little sunlight and a little happiness everywhere you go. And the areas of need you see are just the people along your route. And you're a living example of what little random acts of kindness can do to inspire people's hearts. And I just want you to know, I'm inspired by you, dude. Just being able to do what you can do where you are changes the world. And I have a list here of thousands of people or hundreds of people along your list whose world you changed every day by a simple act of kindness. And
I've seen
I
Casey
think-
crying right now too, Bill. Talk about him.
what?
I don't
What'd
know
you
if know
say?
that. Casey's been crying on the screen too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Casey and Aaron are just living proof of that. Tim, how long have you worked for UPS?
Going on 11 years.
Wow.
11.
Well, I want to tell you, one more surprise is UPS has a guy that's got like 1.7 million followers on something, right, Alex? On what, Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is?
Both of those, yeah.
Yeah. And he has a route down in the Southwest in Texas somewhere, and he's been a guest on the show. He's been all over the world on social media. He's been interviewed by everybody, and he's called the Dancing UPS Man. Tim, have you ever heard of this guy?
I heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, his name's Russell Butler. I love the dude. He hung out with me one day in Memphis and told his story, and we did it in front of a live audience, and he lit the place up, and he can do Ice Ice Baby and spin around like nobody's business. And there seems to be this recurring theme we keep tripping across, which is some of these UPS folks are just great guys. And Tim, while you inspired the people along your route with your random acts of kindness, and then they inspired you with their random acts of kindness, this guy wants his people to smile too. And so while he's on his route bouncing around, he'll just bust a move for everybody. And I love him. And his name's Russell Butler. And so Aaron and Casey, in honor of your random acts of kindness for Tim, and in honor of Tim's random acts of kindness for the people on his route, we have the very own Russell Butler Dancing UPS Man to give you guys a hi-ho and hello. Alex, where's Russell? What up, dude?
My man,
How you doing, Russell?
I'm doing great, Bill. How you doing?
How do you feel when you find out there's other UPS guys sharing sunshine out there?
Hey, Tim, man, I just heard your whole story, dude. I absolutely love it, man. My brother in Brown, keep doing the thing, man.
Yeah, yeah. What can Brown do for you?
That's right. That's right. Man, I tell you, my heart goes out to you, bro. Like my knees, there's days my knees don't want to function. I can't imagine having hips replaced, knees. I mean, you're doing the thing, dude. Again, I'm proud to be your brother in Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Casey, have you seen Russell's moves
I have
online
not.
before?
I-
Well,
I'm hoping to.
yeah.
All right, dude's sick, and you would not have any idea if his knees are messed up. Trust me, 'cause he can spin and twirl. My dance moves are dangerous because I go about 260. So when I go right and then I come back left, some of me is still right. And then when I bust back right, that side swipe might hurt somebody. So I got to be really careful. But that cat is lean and clean. And Tim, with your new hip, we got to get Russell to start teaching you some moves so you can
Absolutely.
bust that on your route.
When I get these knees done, it's on.
All right. Hey, Russell, I got a question. What football are you a Cowboys guy being down there? What are you?
I was just about to say, shout out to them Cowboys. How about them boys?
That's right.
Aaron, you're getting outnumbered here.
No, I know.
Let
Man.
me tell you something. We got 6 people on this screen. We're looking at Tim, a UPS guy in Atlanta. We're looking at Russell, a UPS guy in Texas. Aaron and Casey. Y'all, if you don't believe in the power of an army of normal folks, just look at the grins on this screen today. All from people who deliver packages for a living and decide to make smiles along the way just to brighten people's day. And then human beings touched by that who then want to do little random acts of kindness to give back. If that is not the power of what we try to talk about every week, I don't know what is. And all 4 of you simply make my week.
Hey, and Bill and Alex, thank y'all for doing this. Aaron, Casey, thank y'all. Seriously, that's pretty special deal what y'all did for Tim. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, it was selfless. Anything we could do to get Tim back on the
I
route.
know. I know.
I appreciate it. I love each and every one of y'all. I love it. I appreciate it.
I'm going to feed him tonight too. In fact,
Alex, you got anything to say about all this? You put it all together.
Yeah, the only thing I failed at is I tried asking Tim before the interview, "Hey, what's your favorite song?" Because, like, we often have like entrance music for guests, and he wouldn't give me his favorite song. He couldn't think of this. I wanted to surprise you, Tim, with Russell dancing your favorite song, but not allow me to do so. So
Hey, look,
I don't know if you got one on
that song.
you could think about.
Well,
No, that's that song everybody be singing, boots on the ground with the fans.
I personally think if it's all right, just go with Ice Ice Baby and we can intro it with some video of that cat doing his stuff. And I'm telling you, you will all freak out. The things that move on him, he moves things. I don't even have things. I don't even know. It's crazy.
I got Tim's song pulled up. Would you be game to dance to it, Russell?
Yeah, I'm ready, dude. Just give me the go.
All right, let me pull it up here.
Lord have mercy. Live in the building. I dance my dance here. You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Hit me one time. Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Oh, 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 I got my boots on the ground. Where the fans at?
This dude does this on his route, y'all.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I never heard of. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah. So Tim, time to step up your game over there in Atlanta.
I'm
I
telling you.
know, hey, it's coming. It's coming.
guys,
Right.
Aaron, thank you so much for thinking enough about Tim to do what you did. It feels like it inspired a neighborhood to give back. Casey, thanks so much for being a part of it and letting us know. Tim, just know those little random acts of kindness and those smiles, they inspire the neighborhood. They've inspired us. And now there's going to be thousands and thousands of people that see and hear this story that will be inspired by you. And maybe, hopefully, they hear this driving down the street or on their morning walk. And today, they just give somebody they don't know an extra smile because of what you've done. And if we had 1 million people doing that today, I just feel like it may break down some of those walls that continue to divide us. A simple smile, a simple hello. Russell, a simple dance move. You guys are inspiring. You're a member of the Army of Normal folks. Your random acts of kindness are no smaller feat than some billionaire giving away millions of dollars to some big philanthropy. It all counts. It all matters that we do what we can where we are. And if we stand together and join the Army of Normal folks, we can change our culture. And it's all walks of life. And you guys are the absolute illustration of what that looks like. And I salute all of you. And I thank all of you for what you do and for joining us today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you.